Excuse me, Lillian. Why is my lunch not set at the table yet? You're still at home, aren't you? Where are you?
Sorry, I'm not feeling so good. I'm in the bathroom, but there are some pre-made dishes in the freezer.
You mean I need to prepare them myself? Ridiculous. Still better than your dirty hands touching my food.
I'm really sorry. Since I woke up this morning, I'm feeling very nauseous.
That's no excuse. Just because you feel under the weather, you're going to do your job as usual, right? I need you to put some money on the house.
Can we have takeout for dinner this evening? I'll bring them home right after my shift.
What? More sickness appeal? You're still young. Stop making excuses. I'll let you decide on the menu. But no, cutting corners. And don't be late.
I won't. And also...
What now?
Nothing.
Nothing? You can't even finish a sentence? You married my son 2 years ago, and you still are no use. You won't even give me a grandchild. Sam could have picked a better bride, but no. We're stuck with you when my poor son is away on a business trip.
Sam is in great demand. He's a really good engineer.
Right. You two met at work.
Yes, though I quit after we got married.
Then cherish your husband and his parents.
Of course I do.
You, Sam and his little brother, and your late husband.
You are all my family too.
Is that so? I won't consider you mine until I hold my grandchild in my arms.
Please don't be this way. I worked very hard for this family. So much I can't sleep regular hours.
You're young. A little insomnia won't hurt. Isn't it time you go do your job? At this rate, you won't have time to even eat lunch. Go out and make some money. Lillian, sorry to disturb you at work. I'm going on a trip for a few days with a friend next week, so I'm counting on you to keep the house clean.
A trip? Good for you.
Don't slack on the house chores while I'm gone, and walk the dog twice a day for me.
Okay. I'll ask you for more details when I get back from work.
Details? You just need to tend the house for me. Oh, and I'm taking out money for my trip from your account.
What? My account?
You don't have any children to spend it on, and Sam is working full-time. Your earnings don't mean much anyways. You don't mind me to use it for my benefit. Thanks. Hi, Lillian. Thanks for funding the trip. I'm on my way home right now. I brought back some souvenirs. Pretty sure I got you something too. Lillian? Hello?
Sorry. My hands have gone numb and I can't type well. I'm sweating all over as well.
Do you think it's just menopause? You're only 29 years old. You can't have menopause before 30. It's just laziness. Get a grip off yourself. We need you to be in tip-top shape.
I don't think I can.
Don't whine. Walk the dog at 5 in the morning and 7 in the evening. Breakfast at 7 a.m. Finish house chores by noon and go back to your part-time job. First thing in the afternoon. After that, shop for groceries and cook dinner. It's not that hard.
I'm sorry. I'm not that efficient at things. It's becoming harder every day. I can't sleep even though I'm so tired.
You're still young. Don't be such a ninny. Your inefficiency is because of your lack of experience. I'll see you in a few days.
Okay. Have fun.
Lillian, where are you? I'm back from my trip. Won't you come out and greet me at the door? It's not time for your shift yet. Are you seriously not answering me? Where are you? Aren't you inside the house? Where's my lunch? Hurry up and come.
My daughter died.
What? What are you talking about, Lillian? Stop fooling around. You don't want to make me mad.
Miss Daniels, this is Thomas, Lillian's father. I'm texting you from my daughter's phone.
Thomas?
Sam and his brother tried calling and texting you multiple times. You never got back to them.
Sure, I got a few calls. I'm sure it was nothing urgent.
If my child constantly calls me in such a short time, I would assume something has come up and call them back immediately.
What do you mean she died?
My daughter was cremated yesterday. Sam was the chief mourner at the service, so the ashes are still at your place.
Is it really Thomas I'm speaking to? This is too dark for a joke.
This isn't a joke. Lillian was found unconscious while cooking at your house. Sam was away on that business trip, so your other son called the ambulance.
She collapsed in my house? Why would that happen? A journal? I never knew that.
Sam was full of regret upon reading it. He couldn't save her from your slavery. He wasn't home most of the time, so he couldn't have known.
I'm sorry. I just got back, so I don't understand. What happened to her?
She had a stroke. I'll bring you the autopsy report in a few days.
All right. Oh, the house smells like death.
Sam must be near my daughter, so he'll fill you in on the details. Hello, Mrs. Daniels.
Thomas, thank you for coming by the house today.
I'm sorry we couldn't discuss matters. There were too many people around.
Yes, everyone turned up. I was unsure if my son would be able to represent the family at the memorial service, but we got through.
Mrs. Daniels, my daughter will have her vengeance.
What?
Your trip, you went? My daughter was the one who funded, wasn't it? In addition to working and attending to the house, you have been constantly tormenting her. It's all written in her journal. Your son Sam cried in agony for not being able to protect her.
I was guiding her as her mother-in-law.
Your other son also testified that you've been hard on my daughter. Ever since your husband passed away last year, he tried to defend her every time he was present. But then you started to pick on my daughter while he was out working.
That's an overreaction. Yes, after my husband passed, I depended on Lillian more so than before.
Because there was no one to stop you. You tormented my daughter at your own will, criticizing her ways of houseworking, extorting her salary.
What? It wasn't like that.
Like what? Are you suggesting that it was even worse? These are all what your sons said about you.
Oh, what? My children told you?
And more.
It's all a misunderstanding. I was trying to guide her as her mother-in-law.
According to the doctors, my daughter died from overwork.
Is that true?
Yes, she had too much on her plate already, and her health deteriorated.
Looking back now, she has been complaining about feeling nauseous and such.
That was only the beginning, but you made her work even so. And she died. Where should I place my anger and sadness? Obviously to you, Miss Daniels.
What? Me? Where would you even get that idea?
You fool. My daughter is dead because of you.
That's a false accusation. I did not cause Lillian's death. I couldn't have. I am not at fault.
You won't even apologize. You seriously don't feel any guilt for what you have done?
My presence alone couldn't have resulted in her death. That's absurd. I didn't do anything wrong.
Can you say those words in front of my daughter's ashes?
Of course I can.
This is messed up. I just wanted you to apologize to Lillian. Fine then. I'll be the one to take action.
What action? Are you going to blab around the whole neighborhood about how I am a bad mother?
Don't you get it? I'm taking you to court.
What?
You shouldn't worry if you have nothing to be ashamed of. Sudden death from overwork. If you're not at fault, then who is?
She's been working her job too hard. She was too tired out to do chores around the house.
Even if that is so, you were the one who made her do all the work around the house after her shifts.
I didn't make her do anything. She insisted. So I let her at it.
That's not what she wrote in her journal, or what your sons said.
I'm not... Just think over this again, eh? We should have peace, not argue after Lillian's passing.
I want the truth to be out. I'm not changing my mind. You will hear from my lawyers.
Thomas, I've received an envelope today. What are these papers?
Ah, yes. Those are court documents. Make sure you read them before you show up for the trial.
I'm looking over it right now. Your name is nowhere on this paper.
Oh, the prosecutor is Sam.
What? My own son is prosecuting me?
We felt that the mourning husband would be fit, rather than the mourning parents who haven't seen their daughter in a while.
Then who should I turn to?
Not your other son. He's standing with us.
No way.
I've told you about taking you to court a long time ago. Of course, you have your lawyers ready.
I was planning to discuss matters with Sam when the time came, so... I didn't think my sons would turn on me. Be on the enemy side.
Don't hold a grudge against them. Both of them witnessed how my daughter suffered in your hands. It's understandable they wouldn't want to support their evil mother.
But disputing inside the family... I'm already uncomfortable living with them.
Why don't you move out then? I have an acquaintance in real estate. I may be able to introduce you to some cheaper houses. If you have a guarantor, that is.
There isn't one other than my sons. I'm sure they wouldn't help me out. They already cook and clean only for themselves. Even when I occasionally cook for them, they never touch the food.
Is that so?
Thomas, are you trying to tear my family apart?
You did this all on your own, starting with killing Lillian. I couldn't quite believe it when I found out. You were taking advantage of her salary. From now on, you go get a part-time job and understand how hard it is to earn a living.
Why would I start working at this age?
After the trial is over, Sam said he's kicking you out of the house. You still have the money your husband left you. You could use that as a startup.
Half of that money belongs to my children. There isn't much left of it.
Then you should start job searching. The inheritance would all go to compensation.
Compensation? Am I to pay my son?
That's right.
Ridiculous!
Just because you're his mother doesn't mean he doesn't deserve justice. He even said he would put you in hell himself if he could. How does it feel to be hated by your own son?
Hated? You put them up to it. They wouldn't betray me otherwise.
Mrs. Daniels, you have a lot waiting for you. Little weeds grow apace, they say.
I'll persuade Sam to drop the suit.
You think he would listen to you? He despises you. You had a hand in killing his wife.
If he didn't drop it, what would happen to me? I would be out on the streets.
You should find somewhere to live ASAP. Or become a homeless for all I care. Let's hope you'd get your pension early.
I'm not worrying about my pension.
Oh, but you should. Have you been paying your bills since your husband passed? You would have taken care of it while he was alive. You don't want to be in arrears with your taxes.
I've been having Sam take care of that.
Is he paying from his account? What kind of horrible mother are you? So that is why he said he won't be covering your bills anymore. Maybe that would be included in the compensation money.
Sam is nothing like that. He respects his mother.
He respects you enough that he's facing you in court. Wow, you really are blind. Why don't you move out before things get any more complicated?
No way! This is my husband's house.
But your son is the owner, is he not? He said that you accepted his inheritance money in return for property rights.
I'm still going to make him drop the charges. It's wrong for a child to prosecute their own mother. Thomas, do you have time to chat?
Oh, hello, Mrs. Daniels. Did you find your lawyer? Ours is an old acquaintance of Sam's from university. He's a vigorous fighter for justice.
You're making me look like the bad guy here.
You are the bad guy in this situation. Even your sons see from my perspective.
Is that why? No one is accepting to represent me. The ones who are willing to. Charges too much in advance.
I see. But you can't be unrepresented by nobody at court. Find someone, will you?
I'm sorry. I had been a little hard on Lillian. I'll apologize. So please, can you tell Sam to drop all charges?
I don't want your apology. I want you to make good for what you did to my daughter.
If I apologize to your daughter at her grave, you'll let me off the hook?
Sam is the prosecutor in this case. Why don't you ask him?
He hasn't been answering any of my calls and blocked all my texts.
Then I guess he won't be considering dropping the charges. He won't stop until justice is served on a silver platter.
I can't believe my own son would do that to me. Thomas, you can talk to him. Make him rethink his options.
Did you forget? It was my idea to take you to court in the first place. I'm standing by Sam, whatever happens.
No, please. I do regret about all of this.
There's no use crying over spilt milk.
Please forgive me. I'm sorry.
In justice for Lillian and her husband's suffering, Mrs. Daniels paid Sam over $7,000. She left her house and moved into a really old public housing. She must have used up all of her inheritance in paying the compensation money. I heard she started working part-time, but not earning enough that she had lost a lot of weight. I hope she now understands how horrible it was to take away Lillian's earnings. Mrs. Daniels would turn 60, but I'll make sure that she would endure the suffering that my daughter went through. That is how we get our justice. Sam had an oath to not remarry ever again for Lillian's sake. I think he is still young and deserves happiness. I know that time would eventually heal the pain of our grief.